every country defines critical infrastructure differently. In the US, there are 16 sectors. In Canada, it's 10. In Australia, it's different. And in Europe, it's different again. You know, why is that important? With those definitions come different degrees of protection, regulation, and oversight. So in some countries, being labeled critical infrastructure means mandatory reporting, compliance with strict security standards, and government partnership. In others, the same type of system may sit outside of those protections entirely, and the result is a patchwork. One country's critical infrastructure might be another country's blind spot. So if I look at the next slide, I can see I've laid out kind of the profiles of some of these critical infrastructure definitions, by country. And so although they may vary across countries, these sectors are vital, of course, because their incapacitation or destruction would have a debilitating effect on a nation's security, economic security, public health, and/or safety, which can pose a physical threat to human lives, as we know. So each country has different strengths and weaknesses. So if I looked at the US, based on some information that I've gathered, although a fully matured systematic approach has not yet been achieved, ongoing initiatives and lessons are gradually strengthening the Homeland Security enterprise's capacity to manage emerging critical risks. As we know, the US involves federal, state, local, and private sector partners, with Department of Homeland Security and its components taking on proactive steps to address emerging critical risks. But there's no unified kind of robust process or no one, guide, thou shalt do this, that is holistically identifying and allowing people to assess or systematically correct or connect findings to strategic planning, policy, and budgeting. In Korea, although we certainly, spend a lot of time looking at U.S. resources because of how advanced, relatively they are. In Korea, we know that there's significant progress in terms of a structured, data-driven approach for identifying and analyzing emerging critical risks, as well as risk governance structures and application of big data analytics, scenario planning, and horizon scanning. But they need more in terms of recommendation prioritization and comprehensive assessments of management maturity and better linkages between exercises and then the foresight-based analysis, which could strengthen their resilience against evolving complex risk. Now, why does that matter? Adversaries don't respect those definitions. They don't say, well, that's outside the US's list of 16 critical sectors, so we'll leave it alone. They look for weak points wherever they can find them, and interconnections.